getting at with the book script? Spit that shit out, man!
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do. Quite.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
Oh my God, I did not think he was going to do that. That scared me. That actually scared me a little bit.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Get it started. Come on. They already know this is part two.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. So let me say it. All right, here we go. Welcome to part two.
What?
Two Brothers podcast. We're recapping 2023 and talking about our favorite stuffs of this year. Go check out the last episode because we talked about our favorite video games that took up most of the episode. So this time, this time we're going to go ahead and talk about movies and our favorite comic books of the year. So how do you want to do this? You want to talk about comic books first? You want to do like movies?
Let's get out the movies because we're going to have the same list.
God, why do you always have to like draw out your fucking your sentences, man?
Because.
God, because you did that shit in the last episode too.
Like what?
Oh, God. All right. Well, then let's get into the movie part of the of the episode. So what were, God, looking back, do you want to get our top movie out of the way, or do you want to just kind of lead and talk about the other one leading up to it?
How do you feel about what's your number one? Is it still number one?
Yeah. I think it's still my number one. Yeah.
Which is?
What does that? So you want to go ahead and how about we do it like those fucking morons on? Okay, my question. But are they doing it on the podcast? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Godzilla minus one.
What?
Oh my God, man. Okay. Our movie of the year for 2023 was Godzilla minus one, which, for context, we haven't seen a lot of Godzilla movies. Probably, honestly, I don't think I would even consider Godzilla 2000 to be a movie that I watched because I was a little fucking kid.
Okay.
Back then, and we only saw the 2014 Godzilla movie, which might be a hot take because I know I've seen a lot of people say they enjoyed it. I thought it was fucking boring.
Agree.
I mean, the Godzilla parts of that movie were great. The human parts, where they were like, I hated that. It's like before Godzilla minus one, they couldn't get that shit right. At least here in the States, the American version of the Godzilla films. But with this new movie that came out not that long ago, this is what I wanted. Like, I didn't know what I wanted from a Godzilla movie, but here it is. Like, this is it. It works on so many fucking levels. It's not only like a creature feature, like a horror movie, but it also has like soul to it. It has like a human element to it that you can actually connect to with the characters. There's some moments where you can laugh too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The thing about this one, Godzilla minus one, is that from the beginning, it's established this character right away. Who he is.
Yeah, you see him in the first 5 minutes. Are you talking about Godzilla?
Yeah. No,
yeah. Oh, you're talking about the humans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The main character.
Yeah, and what a motivation too, man. Spoilers for every movie that we were talking about in this episode. So if you haven't seen Godzilla minus one, go out and see it. But the motivation for this main character, the fact that he was coward enough, or he was too much of a coward this group of soldiers he was with. Also, the fact that he just abandoned
that and
his war, like the
and
war.
he abandoned the war. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie takes place like in during
And-
World War II, like at the end of World War II and everything.
The thing is, like, even that, like, look, he abandoned the war because he's a kamikaze.
A kamikaze pilot.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
And he couldn't save the soldiers when he got attacked by Godzilla.
And he couldn't go. He
Right.
couldn't fulfill his duty either.
And when he
Yeah.
got home, his little village got bombed,
Mm-hmm.
and his neighbor basically is like, "You're a kamikaze. You didn't help out."
Yeah. Like
So from the get go, this guy's getting shit luck.
yeah,
you
like
know?
being told he's a disgrace.
Yeah.
When he does reveal that he's a kamikaze pilot, they look at him like, "Why are you even alive?
Yeah, basically.
You should have been, you should have fought you should have died for the country, or that kind of shit." And yeah, and you feel it, man. You feel the weight of that guilt, and boy, they really hammer that shit home. And the other characters are introduced. He links up with this this woman that also kind of got, I think was like what her family died
Yeah.
too, and she just so happened to like stumble upon this baby, or she was given this baby, I think, right?
Like dying mother.
And so she's forced to having to take care of this kid, and so does he. And he's still haunted by what happened, like, 'cause he has nightmares and shit.
Dude, we're not gonna break the whole movie. Dude. We got a lot.
No,
of
but
other
I'm
movies.
just telling you like how important it is that they
No, yeah.
that they establish that, because he's already dealing with so much. The whole fucking Japan is dealing with so much at this time, and then you throw fucking a wrench into the mix, and that wrench is fucking Godzilla.
Coming
Oh,
into this
man.
movie, dude. Like you said, we're not Godzilla fans,
No, I'm not a Godzilla fan, I will admit.
right? We went in there because word of mouth. Everyone's saying this is great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And okay, let's go see this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, after we saw it a couple of weeks ago, I'm still fucking amazed, and like I want to see it again.
Yeah.
I even told you, hey, let's go watch it in 4DX, and you're like,
I'm
no.
not gonna watch that shit. I don't think only the hardcore Godzilla fans are gonna watch that shit.
That's the way to fucking experience that movie, dude.
I think you want to watch it
Dude.
in 4DX, but
Imagine that scene where he does the atomic fucking.
yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I don't want to sit in that seat.
So you go,
Hell no, man. No, fuck that. I mean, it does sound like a thrilling experience, but I don't want to watch it in 4D. I want to watch it again, but I don't want to be like distracted by the shit with my fucking seat and like just tumbling all over the place.
and then look, and I was like telling you, like, like, I don't know how fucking over here in the States, they don't know how to fucking do a monster movie, dude. This one
Lately,
had a great
Yeah.
fucking balance with Godzilla and like the humans,
Yeah.
if you want to say it that way,
Yeah.
At first, oh come on, get like I was like, okay, we're gonna get to okay, this is like a 20-minute human scene without Godzilla,
Mm-hmm.
but I was interested. I was hooked
Yeah.
with that. Not like with the 2014 one was like the majority was fucking just boring fucking dialogue with humans, dude. Where in this one, it was interesting. They give you backstory with not even with the main characters, even his friends that he meets in that new job and all that
Mhm,
shit.
mhm.
They're all interesting. They're all yeah.
I mean, why is it our movie of the year? It's because it's like it delivers everything that you want from a blockbuster.
Yeah.
You got the Godzilla moments. You obviously have the more down to earth, like with the humans and everything, the characters and shit. But like I honestly don't see a flaw in the movie. I mean, it does kind of slow down, kind of in the second act a little bit, but I never kept my eyes off the screen. You know, when I was watching it, like I was just so invested in everything that was going on, and it had like one of the best endings I've seen in a fucking movie. You know, like it just ended on such a great note, and yeah, there's probably some moments where you can see coming, like, oh yeah, this is like you were telling me that, like, oh, the lady's not dead and shit. Like, you can predict some of the things that are gonna happen, but you don't give a fuck because everything is executed so well that even if you know what's gonna happen, you know that they're gonna, like, you still feel like maybe they might not.
Yeah.
You know, there's that moment towards the end where like everything goes quiet. It's like all slow motion. You're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? Is Godzilla actually going to fucking destroy everything? And then, of course, our main character comes in. Like, man, it was just. And for someone who wants to be like a filmmaker, wants to be a writer, watch this movie, man. Like it tells you how to fucking write good character.
Look, compared to
have tension, all that
like,
shit.
let's say Godzilla, the 2014 one, had a budget of 100 million, maybe more. This one only had 15,
less than
or
15. Less than 15 million.
We don't even know because the director doesn't like pinpoint. He doesn't even know. I think, right? That's what he said.
No, he just said like, I wish it was 15 million,
Huh.
but he didn't really specify how much it was. But I'm guessing it was less than 15 million. And the VFX in this movie, it it really does put a lot of other like CGI infested movies that you see, like they put that shit to shame, man.
Yeah,
for real. And this is just coming from me. I have not seen Oppenheimer, but like the equivalent of what happens in this movie with the fire breath and how it's like a fucking nuke kind of thing. God damn, that was like terrifying to watch too. You know, and on a budget for that much money, and they did it that good. I don't know, man. I don't know what more you can ask for.
I want to see more of these type of Godzilla movies, dude.
Well, the director expressed he wants to do a sequel. And like, fucking give him all the sequels. He wants to do Star Wars. Give him the fucking Star Wars movies too. You know,
yeah, dude.
I'm not ashamed of putting a Godzilla movie as my movie of the year, but of the year, to be honest. Like,
Well,
it's that fucking good.
this next one, the same. We're gonna agree with this one too. It had the number one spot for a while
Mm-hmm.
until Godzilla came in, and that was John Wick 4, right?
Yeah, John Wick 4 was. That was my number one for a long time too, until I saw Barbie, because I thought Barbie was fantastic.
Oh, we'll get there.
But yeah, John Wick, Chapter 4 we saw earlier this year, and I'm still like I think about that movie like once a day. You know, I'll think about like a certain scene and be like, "Damn, that part was so fucking good, man." You know, it's gonna go down as like one of the best action films of all time, one of the best franchises of all time. But 4, I mean, where would you rank 4 out of all the John Wick movies? Because it was fucking good, but it was also like close to 3 hours, or it was like 3 hours.
For that one, I can do that. Like I can rewatch 1 through 4 and rank them again. Cause yeah, but I don't know. This one's it has to be up there for me too.
Yeah.
How were you just talking about Godzilla? That the director, writer, who, you know, the main guy who created John Wick, he got influenced by those foreign films, those cop films, those everything that we love.
Yeah.
And he knows how to make that work into the States. Okay.
Yeah.
So get
That's what
you have to do, dude.
Yeah.
He knows how to execute that shit. He knows how to fucking write a story, write characters. You know, even the fucking music is fucking great in that.
Oh my god, the music choices in this movie were. So, yeah, that shit sent shivers down my spine, man.
Yeah, so like you have to from the get go agree that some shit is gonna be outrageous and bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, if
You know?
if you're watching a John Wick movie and you're like on the fourth one, and then you're like, wow, man, that's too fucking crazy. Like, you just watched 1 through 3, and now you're starting to like question logic in the movies. You know what I mean? So if you're a John Wick fan, I feel like that logic just went out the fucking door with the first movie, and you're just in it. You know, there's a bunch of crazy shit that happens in this movie where you're just like, he should have fucking died right there.
Yeah.
That fall he took should have killed him, or he should be out for like. But you don't care. You know, it's just
you
you turn your brain off and you just watch it for what it is. And I know it sounds crazy to say that like a John Wick movie was our movie of the year for the longest time. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, yeah, there's movies that I watch that I will sit there and be like, thinking about the message and the theme of the film and everything. But sometimes you really just want to watch your main character fucking kill like 70 dudes in 10 minutes. You know, in the most coolest way possible. And John Wick 4 just fucking delivered that.
When you first saw the film, that scene where it's over the top shot with the dragon fire, and I don't know if it was us like turning to each other. It's like, did they get this from Hong Kong Massacre?
Yeah. Well, I first thought Hotline Miami. That was my first thought, and then you said Hong Kong Massacre, and I was like, oh yeah, that's also. And then they confirmed that they took inspiration from that game, and I was like, that's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, it's it's an action fan's wet dream. This movie, you know, Keanu Reeves is just so fucking good. He's a master at everything, and I'm blanking on his name. What's his name?
Who?
The blind character, his friend. What's the actor's name?
Oh fuck!
God damn it!
Look it up.
It's like right there. It's like on the tip of my tongue. But he was really good too. I think his name was Kane or something, right? Yeah, I think his name was Kane. Talk about a fucking all-star cast in this film. They had everybody that you would think of. Donnie Yen was so fucking good.
What's the character's name? Was it?
Yeah, it was Kane. Yeah, I believe it was Kane.
Even what's his name? No name.
Nobody.
Or Nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them were so fucking good in this movie. Props to everybody. They did such a fantastic job.
Scorpion was cool.
Scorpion?
Yeah, the actor who plays Scorpion.
Oh. Yeah, for the little time he was in the movie, he also fucking gave it 100%.
Right.
Yeah, I'll put that up there too.
All right.
I think this is where we start to deviate.
Yep.
What would it be yours after
we
John
saw
Wick?
this early this year. You probably forgot about it. But this movie started John Wick. If it wasn't for this film, there wouldn't be no John Wick. There wouldn't be all these kick-ass action films. And it just came out with the 4K release. Or it's coming out with the 4K release. Nowhere Man.
Nowhere Man?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The fuck is Nowhere Man?
Remember?
The Man from Nowhere?
Oh, that's the one, right? Yeah, the Man from Nowhere.
Oh my god, you were just praising you got the title wrong. It's coming out with the 4K release? Yeah. Okay, well, tell the audience what is the Man from Nowhere.
It's basically fucking John Wick, ain't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't have the dog plot element in it.
No, but it kind of follows like a retired cop / special agent, whatever you want to call it, and he works in this hotel, and I guess he takes care of this little girl sometimes when her mother's not there.
Yeah, and then the girl is the one who gets
Kidnapped.
Yeah,
and he saves her, and that's when he comes out as John Wick, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, what a fantastic movie. It also didn't have his... It reminded me more of Max Payne.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, it gave me Max Payne 3 vibes when I was watching that movie. Because it was like the whole human trafficking element. Or not, that wasn't human trafficking, sorry. Having the children, like, be like their slaves and doing all that shit
Oh
for
yeah,
their fucking
yes,
drug.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I could see that as being up in your list too. Because I enjoyed that movie a lot too. It's not as action packed as John Wick,
It's not,
weirdly
but
enough, but it does have a lot of great build up to that climax
yes,
where it does fucking deliver. You know, it's one of those movies where you just like, oh man, what the fuck? Nothing's really like happening yet, but when shit goes down, you're in for a treat. You know, so yeah, that last scene was so fucking good. And the actor who played the man from nowhere, he did a lot of good like acting from just not even saying it. It's just like emoting, you know.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Especially because he doesn't really talk that much, and yeah, but then towards the end, yeah, he ramps things up. It's the man from nowhere. Definitely should be more in the discussion of like
It doesn't get
best
I feel like
best action films.
it doesn't
you know?
get the love it is. It gets. You know.
Yeah, it's
I feel
really underrated. Man.
You can see it basically anywhere right now. It's streaming everywhere. I feel like last time I checked. But like I said, go buy it. You're not gonna fucking like get disappointed of it. If you love John Wick, you'll love this film. And this is even
you know, I would say like if you love John Wick, but you didn't think it had enough like story or emotional weight, this will give that to you. You
the
know,
director. You know, I said he got inspiration watching this film. So
yeah.
and you see it. So there you go.
All right, yeah, the man from nowhere. That's a good one too. In no particular order, I think my next one would probably be Barbie. My God.
No, just that's how
Man,
people
oh my
think
God.
nowadays.
I like how you say that and then you wait, and then you follow it up. Better.
Yeah,
My God. I mean, you haven't seen Barbie yet, so
I'm kind of excited to watch it.
get to it, man.
I
I
might
haven't
watch
even
it
seen it yet.
soon. So
I'm not really gonna speak too much on it. I will just say this: like, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Saw it with my girlfriend, and she enjoyed it a lot.
I feel like
And then,
that's how people felt.
There were a lot of people who were like, it's
That-
either going to be the worst thing ever
Yeah.
or it's going to be the best thing ever. But I think as the closer the movie got to releasing, everyone was just like, oh, this is going to be a great movie. And I was kind of on that boat too. I was like, this might actually be really good. You know, reviews were coming out and everyone was saying how fantastic it was. And when I saw it, I was just like, this is actually like really funny and very like nuanced, and I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed it. So much so that I think we watched it 2 days after, like the week after we saw it, like not that long after we watched it the first time. Jesse and I saw it again, and it was just, it feels like one of those movies that just passes by, like you just like in a blink of an eye, it's over. It's how good the fucking pacing is, and that it's definitely my like best comedy of the year. You know, aesthetically, visually, it looks pleasing. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. So I think Barbie would be up there, and it knocked off John Wick. Once I saw it, once I was like, I think Barbie might be my favorite movie of the year. I think I want to see it again. You know.
Okay.
What are you looking at?
Just looking at movies that came out this year because I suck at thinking.
Okay, well you keep thinking.
No, I got one already.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
This is you want to think about this one out. This also we saw earlier this year.
Is it Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah, no. The Swordsman. The Swordsman.
The Swordsman. Why you keep listing up? I'm talking about movies that, like, my headspace is I'm thinking about movies that came out this year, and you're talking about movies we've seen.
I'll get there.
We'll get there.
Come on, you can't tell me that fucking the Swordman fucking didn't kick ass.
Swordsman. The Swordsman, okay? Get that right.
Dude, how can you not fucking like this whole, or...
No, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Like,
I don't know if I'd put it on my list, though.
Something's wrong with you, guy. How the hell are you not gonna like a blind guy who's a fucking kick-ass samurai?
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd put it like in my top 5 movies of the year. It was a great movie.
Well, for me, yeah.
I would put, what's it called? The Good, the Bad, and the Weird or something?
Yeah.
I'd put that. I would more sooner put that on my list than I would The Swordsman. I had more fun with that other movie.
Swordsman was kick-ass to me, dude. I loved it.
I enjoyed it too. I'm not. Please do not take what I'm saying as like I'm hating the movie. I enjoyed it. I just don't know if I'd put it on my list.
Good for you.
You know. But why was it your favorite? You haven't really. You just said it was a kick-ass film. What was it about? Tell the
So
people
how
what
can
it's
you
about.
not like the fucking story where it's a blind fucking samurai kicking ass, basically?
You have the full microphone like right here. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get you mad real quick. You gotta put it like right here.
You got it, huh?
Yeah, oh, see now I can hear you perfectly, and I think everyone will be able to hear you perfectly.
I don't care.
What do you mean? You don't? That's the whole point of a podcast is that people can fucking hear you, you moron.
If you hear me, you hear me, okay?
And if you don't, then what?
Good.
It's just called one brother for sometimes, and then the two brothers come. Another brother comes in. Podcast.
Well, you talk too fucking loud, anyways. That's why
Yeah, I talk too loud.
That's why they always get you.
Well, you don't fucking. You hardly talk. I can't hear you. You
Good.
Fucking through my headphones.
I don't
You're like
to
this.
talk.
This is you, okay? Like people are gonna be able to hear.
Go,
this.
go, 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 go.
This is you. Who doesn't like a movie about a blind swordsman? Huh? Who doesn't like hearing about that? It's like right here, okay?
Got it. I got it right
now,
here.
now you're giving me like the fucking evil eye.
Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna murder me after the podcast.
Oh, you betcha.
You betcha. Sound like a white person. All right,
I'll
go
throw
ahead.
this fucking microphone at your fucking head.
Oh yeah, I like to see you try it. I would really like to see you try. Throw that microphone in my head and see what happens. See when I grab it and then I fucking throw it back at your big
All
ass
right.
fucking head.
It just the story is about. I already said he's a blind, retired farmer now, and I think he's taking care of a. Was it?
Honestly, I forgot that we saw this movie. So
I think it
you're
was
lost on this. I don't
one
know.
of his friend's daughter. That his friend died, and he's watching over her.
Yeah.
And Sub-Zero comes in, and
Oh yeah, you was in this movie. That's right.
the actor.
We really got to learn these actors' names. We can't just.
And I think he figures out that she's like in a royal bloodline, yeah.
Bloodline.
And he kidnaps her,
Yeah, dude, the bloodline, bro.
and this blind guy has to go get her, dude.
Yeah.
It's
It's another John Wick. All your movies were John Wick movies. That was your fucking list of films that you like.
I think you have to rewatch it again, dude. I still have it in my head. Every fucking minute of that movie.
Well, I'm just pointing out. I feel like besides Godzilla and John Wick, yours has still been the same genre of movies as your movies of the year.
Yeah, dude.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, all right.
Now you're like fucking Josh now.
what are you talking
I can't
about?
fucking talk anybody.
You can
I'm
go.
talking about movies that came out this year, okay? Like Barbie.
Hey, I'm not telling you to bring up movies that came out this year. I said in my headspace.
You fucking
I'm thinking that
motherfucker.
I thought you were gonna bring up movies that came out this year. Is all
I
I'm
said
saying.
I was getting there, and you're
Oh,
over here still
get to it,
criticizing.
bitch. Get to it. Go ahead. What's the next one?
No, you fucking Rick Ross looking motherfucker.
Oh, I'm a Rick Ross looking motherfucker. You were out here wheezing for the past few weeks like you are fucking Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
What's
good.
your next movie, shithead?
My next movie is... I know you're going to laugh at it. I know when Josh listens to it, he's going to fucking laugh at it, too. Saw X was on my list.
Great. Here we go.
And that's it. I don't want to talk about it because you're just going to... You're going to just shit on me for about 10 minutes straight while I talk about Saw X.
Just go for it. I know you. Go for it. Not in a bad way. Just go.
Okay, I mean, but you enjoyed it too. I just gotta point that out.
I did.
All right. Well then,
It's not the greatest though.
Not the greatest movie.
I'm gonna do an hour. Well, I don't put it in my list though.
You know what, Eder? And here's what I will say. I understand. Okay. I feel like I can understand both camps of people who love the Saw movies and people who hate it. They're totally like correct. Anyways, look, the reason why I have Saw X on my list, and I know it's like a fucking Saw movie on your
What the hell
top
did you
films
say?
of the year list, but I had no expectations for Saw X, like none at all. And you could attest to that, Edgar. You were there when I was talking about how, like, oh my god, they're bringing out Tobin Bell again. They have to fucking do that in order to get people to come back to the theater to watch another Saw movie. I was completely burned with Spiral. We'll just leave it at that. I feel like everybody was. But once I saw the trailer for Saw X in July, immediately I just did a 180 and I was like, I think this might be the best Saw movie in the franchise since 1. And when we saw that movie, I am a little embarrassed to admit I was like a little kid, smiling ear to ear, just watching that film. The traps were fucking great. It was bloody, it was gory, it had everything that I wanted from a Saw movie. The story was actually kind of strong for a Saw film, which isn't saying a lot because a lot of the Saw films that came out before were kind of weak, were really weak. But this one actually had legs to it, had weight to it, and despite it being like a mid sequel coming out, you know, like in between 1 and 2, they managed to actually up the stakes towards the end. And to me, that's fucking crazy because we already know where these characters are going. You know, we're like, what's going to happen to John Kramer? You know, what's going to happen to Amanda? But once they bring out, like, the kid, and you're like, oh, shit. Like, nobody saw that coming. I didn't see that coming. And you're putting him in a trap and everything. It's like, they did it. I think they came back, and if this is the last Saw movie that they do, which, I mean, it isn't, but I feel like this could be a great send-off, you know? So, yeah, I think I'm okay with putting it on my list. I'm a little embarrassed, but as a Saw fan, I just couldn't be more happier.
Is that it?
Yeah. Why did you take forever to say something?
I thought you weren't done.
You didn't chime in or anything.
It was good. How about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I was going to bring that up. Is that also the next one you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
I think I enjoyed this more than Across the Spider-Verse, man.
Forgot that shit even came out this year. That's how.
Don't say it.
Wasn't.
Don't say it to be
That
different, Edgar. Come on.
Rememberable.
Are you for real? Are you being serious right now?
What?
You're saying, are you implying that Across the Spider-Verse was not memorable?
No.
Oh my god, dude. the fucking gaps of silence where you don't say shit. I swear to God. What do you, like, elaborate? What?
What?
Are you being free? Are you not? You think it wasn't memorable? Across the Spider-Verse?
I only saw the once.
God damn, man. Okay, I mean, I saw it twice. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's also nice, but
Well, like you said, I
think
enjoyed
I-
TNT more than Spider-Verse, so.
well, I think it's just one of those things where that movie just, like I said with Barbie, where it's like, it flies by the time.
Which one?
The teenage.
Oh, okay.
It's also like a short movie, so it's not that very long. Before you know it, the movie's over, but it's like, it's really good. And the animation is fucking fantastic. Like, this is probably the second best looking animated movie behind Across.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, they finally made a movie about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and focusing on that teenage aspect. And they nailed it perfectly. It was like hilarious. The soundtrack from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross was so fucking good, and the music drops that they had in the film were also really great. I love the voice acting from everybody. It was just a good time in the theater when I saw it.
What does
And
that guy
it just
say?
it just made me feel good, you know?
The fucking Stingray? What does it say? Chicken fillet?
Ray Fillet?
Yeah, him.
How is this in your fucking list and you don't even remember the characters of the movie? Jesus
That's what he
Christ.
says, right? Chicken fillet.
Do you have anything to add other than, like... Because you've honestly been quiet since you've stopped talking about fucking The Swordsman.
Yeah, the swordsman, guys. How am I quiet? You just had a little rant about fucking Saw X. That's why I didn't say anything.
The floor's all yours, man. Go ahead and talk about why this movie was your favorite. I feel like I'm more talking about why it was my favorite.
You fucking covered everything, shithead. I was gonna bring up the fucking soundtrack and how fucking amazing it is.
Well, then chime in, dude.
That we
Go ahead.
there's not one day that we don't play that fucking music of Trent Reznor.
Why you sound so heated? Are you okay? What's going on?
Cause you're pissing me off.
How am I pissing you off?
Cause you're over here. You didn't say anything. What are you gonna say?
Well, it's because you're looking up at the fucking ceiling like you're contemplating your life choices, dude. What's...
Yeah, I don't want to do this podcast
Oh
with
my
you.
god, you've had like the most out there fucking takes, and now you're bringing up how you don't want to be on this podcast.
How do I have out there takes?
I mean, you just said that Across the Spider-Verse. You're implying that wasn't good.
I was
Or
joking.
memorable. Oh, now it's a joke.
Yes.
Now it's a joke. Thanks for telling me that 2 minutes later, Enter.
More than 2 minutes, shithead.
Great, now you're keeping track, huh? Okay,
See,
let's move on.
what an episode.
We want an episode. This is the most Two Brothers episode that we've recorded so far.
Sure.
You know? Do we have any other movies that we
Yeah,
want to talk about? or-
Spider-Man.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Yeah. So,
No, please, keep going with your bit. Go ahead.
yeah, good way to kill it, fuckhead.
I didn't kill anything.
Fucking pointing it out. Okay, I don't know if this one came out this year too, because goddamn, fucking winter's a bitch, ain't it? You forget where you're at, and
Yeah, and then you stare at the fucking ceiling, and you're
I'm being
contemplating your life
I'm being
choices.
serious. Did we see it this year, or when was it? The Banshees of Inisherin.
That was last year.
Are you fucking joking?
What year are you on? Were you talking about all your favorite movies?
No, it has to be this year, right?
No, it was last year, man. It was last year. So you're on your 2022 shit. I'm talking about 2023 right now.
I think it was 2020.
Your next movie is gonna be like a movie that came out in the fucking 70s.
Says the guy who's watching a fucking list of them, huh?
Yeah, but you don't see me fucking compiling them for this year's list.
So, Spider-Man then.
Oh, great. Oh, God. Should we just move on from the movies and
I
talk
guess,
about the...
dude. Because, look.
I mean, like, if I were to put honorable mentions, like, Talk to Me was also a great horror movie that came out this year We both enjoyed it a lot.
When Evil Lurks.
When Evil Lurks.
I mean,
That's probably my favorite horror movie of the year was When Evil Lurks. That was, goddamn.
dude. Even fucking horror movies were like in my list. Smile, Cobweb.
Smile came out last year, but yeah.
Cobweb.
Yeah. Cobweb. Talk to Me. Evil Dead Rise. Oh, yeah, a lot of great movies that did come out this year for horror. But I think I'm content with that being like my top 5 is Godzilla at 1, John Wick at 2, Barbie at 3. I'd probably switch it and put Teenage and then Saw X. They'd probably be my top 5. And I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet because everyone and their fucking moms watch it in the theater. And I wasn't going to go and do that. But we have it. We still haven't seen it. We have to watch it. But I think, and then... Yeah, dude, I feel like Across the Spider-Verse is also, like... If Teenage didn't come out this year, I think I'd put that on there, on the list. You know? Yeah. Do you have any other honorable mentions, or...
Yeah, help me out here. I don't know.
Well, I just listed a whole bunch.
Yeah. Like I said, we
Guardians 3 came out this year, too.
Oh, dude. I think
if we were
we
to
did
put a Marvel movie, I'd put that up there.
Like you said, we already had an episode on it, but yeah, fucking Guardians, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What a way to fucking end a trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's all I can say. You can listen to our podcast on that. So
yeah. So now let's move on to the last part of our episode, comic books, which I feel like we don't nearly give enough love to. We haven't talked a lot about comic books this year, but we'll talk about it here because what were your favorite comic books of 2023 that you read?
well, the one that comes into mind.
Dude, I swear to God, this is like the most quiet you've been in this whole fucking like podcast.
I'm not quiet. I'm thinking. Until you fucking ruined it again, Howard. Thanks.
Oh God, I don't ruin shit.
You have to
okay?
point everything out I'm doing. Looking at this fucking ceiling, fucking scratching my nuts, fucking.
I didn't bring that up either. What are you talking about? You brought that up.
I'm making a fucking joke, dickhead.
Oh, great! You're the greatest comedian ever.
The one that comes into mind, okay, guys, is from Image Comics, and it's called I Hate This Place. And I think I brought it up to you like multiple times. Like this is gonna be one of my favorite comic books. You know, you got me here now. Clearly, hello, check. Howard. And the story is about these two a couple.
These two couple.
Sorry, well, this couple that gets this land from her grandmother that passed away in her will, and then she didn't tell her that this land is fucking like, I don't want to say haunted, but it's kind of weird.
Cursed or what?
Cursed or yeah, let's say cursed. Because their first night there, they see this green glow coming out of the woods, and it's like spirits / zombies.
Oh, like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Kind of like that, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And they come attack the house and all this shit, and out of the woods comes this creature with a goat's head, basically. You know, like a goat's skeleton head. You know, it has the horns and all that shit. And it after that, they hire a paranormal investigator, and they unravel and learn what's going on in this place, and why this only happens at night, and and all this crazy shit, right? Mm-hmm. And like I was telling you, it kind of gave me vibes of Evil Dead early Evil Dead, you know, the
Sam Raimi.
the
Evil
Sam
Dead?
Raimi, and Cabin in the Woods, you know. And if you like that type of shit, and if you like horror slash, you know, paranormal stuff, this is a great fucking read, dude. I think it's done now. And
Well, how many issues was it?
I want to say 10 or 12.
Okay.
It was short. I think the second volume is out. I know the first one has been out, so pick that up. And even the guy gives you recommendations at the end. I think the guy who did do a powerbomb did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gives you match recommendations for wrestling. I mean.
Yeah.
And this writer does the same thing too.
For horror.
Yeah, like if you like campy horror movies, here's a list. Oh, if you like gory films, here's a list. Like every issue he has that. You know, I wasn't disappointed. That shit got me like, even when it was on break, like for the second half, like, dude, when is it coming back, dude?
Mm-hmm.
I was so hooked on it, and yeah, like I said, I even told you from like when the first issue came, I think this is gonna be my favorite comic of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who's the publisher for that one?
Image.
Oh, Image, yeah. Image really does come out with a lot of great stuff, dude. Mine's is probably Arcade Kings. I think that's probably my favorite comic of the year. Kind of following in the footsteps after reading Do a Powerbomb. I feel like this was another one of those comic books. Probably not as like emotionally impactful as Do a Powerbomb, but again, it's one of those comic books that just really draws from the world of fighting, you know, mixed martial arts, and like more in particular like fighting games. Hence why it's called Arcade Kings, and it touches on a lot of like those anime tropes that you see, you know, of like the protagonist who like is hiding like a secret power, and it's like he only gets stronger and blah blah blah, and you get to see some of his past, and like, oh, and there's another protagonist. It's like it's very corny, and like it's such a fun read that even for the asking price of like, what was it, like $6 or $8, you're getting like high quality storytelling, and also like the drawings, the arting. My God, the art is just fucking fantastic. And it's written and also drawn by the same person, which is very impressive. You know, so I gotta give props to what's his name, Dylan Burnett, who did Ant-Man and Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is fantastic. Yeah, so the story is, so the first 3 issues follows this character named Joe, I believe, and he goes from town to town visiting these different like arcade machines and like just beating all the high scores, and you realize he's got like this mysterious like past to him. And then in the next issue, after like those 3 issues, you get introduced to the second protagonist. His name is Ken, which, like, you know, if you know Ken, you know from the fighting games, you see the parallels. And he runs an arcade, and he's getting this like trouble coming from like this big corporation. You realize that it's headed by like his father, and you realize like him and this Joe guy are connected because they're brothers. And it just, yeah, so it's there's a lot to read there. I don't want to give too much away. But if you're fans of like Dragon Ball Z or just like shonen anime, if you love fighting games, you're going to feel right at home with this one. I enjoyed it. It was probably the one that I kept coming back to when we would go to the comic book store. Like, I had to pick up Arcade Kings. Like, I can miss a Batman issue, but I can't miss Arcade Kings, you know? And it was made by Variant Comics. So
Was it Image?
Or was it Image?
I think it's Image.
It wasn't Valiant. It wasn't Valiant.
No.
So it was Image too. God damn, Image is.
I'm telling you.
All right, yeah. So that would be probably my comic book of the year. I mean, if we were to talk about like touch on other ones,
It's not even over yet, though. Or is
Arcade
it?
Kings is over. I read the whole
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I know that it's over definitively. Yeah, I mean, this year I don't know. It wasn't nearly as strong as last year for comic books. Maybe we just weren't reading from the right or searching in the right places. But once again, I feel like independent comic books. That's where it's at. You know, that's not to say anything bad about Marvel or DC. You know, Marvel comic books. There's always some great ones that come out. You know, Al Ewing with Immortal Hulk, stuff like that, or like this year with Invincible Iron Man. I thought was fantastic. Written by the same guy who did wasn't that called not called Invincible Doom? What is it called? Was the Doctor Doom one that he did? Shit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Forgot.
Yeah, but it's
though.
like
yeah.
the same guy, and it was really good. In terms of like DC comic books, I would have put Night Terrors on there, but we haven't finished it. I think it's called Night Terrors, right?
Which one's that?
Where it has Deadman in it.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I don't know if we finished it, so
No,
I mean, but
it's-
that would also have been on my list also if I finished it. But it was such a hot comic book that everyone was just buying it up. You know, Batman really kind of felt complacent this year. Didn't really do anything. It was not much that was like super exciting with Batman this year. There's nothing that nothing that like stands out.
Why are you moving this shit so quickly? You only mentioned two, now you're like, this was good.
What are you talking about?
Feels like you want to end this shit. What the hell?
No, I'm not trying to end it. Well, I'm talking. You haven't chipped in.
Well, you won't shut the fuck up. But we got to mention my second favorite comic book.
Okay, all right, goddamn. Go ahead. What's your second favorite?
I already talked about it a few episodes ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought about it, and I changed my mind about it from again when I talked about it a couple episodes ago. Jason Aaron's run of the Punisher. That shit grew on me.
Really?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, now that I have more.
So what changed what made it your number 2 favorite?
He gave it a new spin to the Punisher. He gave it his own like origin story. You know, the Garth Ennis one with Born Again,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is it called Born Again? No, Born. Sorry. It only tells you when he was in Vietnam, I think, and that's how he became the Punisher. But with Jason Aaron, he starts when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Frank Castle. So it feels like he was always a troubled person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. At first, I wasn't like, come on, man, were you going to fuck up Garth Ennis, like, his origin story, how he became the Punisher? You know? So you're trying to make Frank Castle's, like
a psychopath.
yeah,
kinda
like from the beginning.
Yeah.
But to me, like it made sense of who he is.
Well, I
know?
was telling you that even when you were like opposed to what Jason Aaron was doing when you were talking about it on the podcast. I was like, no, that makes sense. I like that. I haven't read it, but I like that he's doing that. That's kind of cool.
No, because I need someone else's. What's the word?
Opinion?
No, it starts with a V.
Viewpoint?
No, I just had the fucking word, but let's say opinion. You know, when I told you, it's like, what do you think about this? I wouldn't even tell you when I was done reading an issue. It was like, I read this and I don't know. What do you think? And you say, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And when we went to a comic book store, I think I told the guy too. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about Jason Aaron's run?" And the guy's, "Oh, he I love it, man. I know I know Jason Aaron's gonna do the right thing. He's doing good so far, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I really gotta like accept or like where this is going, you know, because
Because you weren't on board with
I
what he
wasn't
was
on
doing.
board because at the same time it would jump back and forward with his flashback when he was younger till like what he's doing now. You know, he was like the head of the hand, right? That's the hand.
Yeah.
And I just wanted more from like the what's going on now, not his flashbacks. But like, I don't know. It's like I want to see this Frank Castle where it's going. You know, it left kind of in a cliffhanger. You know, and there's this new Punisher out there already. I feel like no one talked about it. I feel like no one's interested in it.
I mean, it's always going to be one of those things people just are not going to. I don't know, man. You take a huge risk with replacing a character with another, like, you know.
The thing is, like, Jason Aaron killed the Punisher.
The idea of the
The
Punisher.
idea.
Right.
I forgot what his name now is. I forgot, you know, but he's Frank Castle now. There's no more Punisher.
Yeah.
So I want to see that continuing.
Like
and
what happens with him after
that was
the-
Marvel. The mantle went to someone else. Like, no. You know?
Aren't you reading the new Punisher?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Thought you were, but
Hell no, dude. It would always, the Punisher's always gonna be Frank Castle. There's no one else. You know. Just like, Just like how Venom is always gonna be Eddie Brock. You don't see, fucking what's the name, Flash?
Flash Thompson
becoming Venom. You know.
All right, I see. Okay.
Excuse me.
Oh my god. I don't know if I had a second comic book of the year, to be honest. I mean, when you were talking, I was thinking like maybe Night of the Ghoul from Scott Snyder, just because it's such a crazy, like, an original idea for a horror story. Also, really liked the artwork of that one. But I don't know, man. To be honest, I feel like Arcade Kings is the one that really stuck out to me this year.
Nice.
Masquerade, I think, was also pretty good from Kevin Smith. I really like that one too.
The Incredible Hulk with Donny Cates.
But it was such a short run, man. It only lasted like 13, 14 issues or something.
What about this new one?
Well, this one's ongoing, and I don't know if I read enough to really say if it's like one of my favorites this year so far. You know, maybe Swamp Thing came out. What was it called? Swamp Thing. It's like Hell something, I think it was called.
Oh, with Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, that was really good too. John Constantine being in that comic book, like all of it was great. But it, goddamn, from first issue to like the second issue, I think it was just a 3-issue thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great read from Black Label. I enjoyed that one a lot too. But nothing like really stood out to me that of like shit that I read from last year, you know? No One Left to Fight Part 2 from Dark Horse, I think, came out this year as well.
That's 2 years ago. Huh? How does that feel?
Fucking asshole. I think that's it, dude. I don't know. I don't think I have a lot of other.
Well,
comic
I
books
do.
of this year.
I don't know if it's done or is it not. It's in like its own thing, like with a little comic event. But Al Ewing's Carnage was
Oh, okay.
batshit crazy. That's all I have to say about that.
That's it.
like at first it's like it like I told you, it's like kind of like a detective story. Like this detective goes in and it's like excuse me, there's like they're saying like is Carnage back, basically, because there's like these weird killings going on and this and that and shit. And it just goes like issue 6 or 7. It just goes crazy with it. Like, I don't want to spoil it. Like, it just goes crazy with it in a good way. To the point where I think it's the symbiote of Carnage.
Yeah.
It's not what's his name? Cassidy. That's all I know is Cassius.
Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah, there you go.
You were about to say Cassius Clay. Jesus.
He's brought back, but he doesn't have the symbiote. The symbiote is its own thing now. Like, it has its own fucking mind and everything. You know? Like, I was gonna say, like, to the point where he's like fucking like King Carnage. I think you've seen it when we went to the
Yeah, I did the tie-in and everything. Yeah.
How he looks and shit, like he has the fucking devil horns and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he becomes fucking like unstoppable. To the point, like, the this little event that's going on. I haven't picked up the other issues, but was it Death of
Venomverse or something?
the Venomverse or something like? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's what it's called. And I'm digging that too, even though it's not. I don't think it's written by Al Ewing, but basically even on the title it says like he's basically killing all the fucking people that have symbiotes. He's going after every single one to the point where he's gonna go toe to toe with Null.
God damn. I guess it's leading up to something good then.
But yeah, like I don't know if that the main run is done, but yeah, pick it up. I think it's also on a trade paperback.
Yeah, at this point I feel like you can start your pre-orders for them.
Yeah,
for getting it out.
I saw what's his name, Comic Explain to talk about it, and he enjoyed it. Like, hell yeah, dude. It's like you're like, oh, it's a detective story. Then
It takes a 180
after that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, any other comic books, or is that it? Because we're about around the hour mark now. No, we already passed the hour mark.
No, hold on. Let me see if there's any honorable mentions. Sorry. Fuck. No, nothing that comes into mind.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I think for comic books, I think those would be mine.
Which is weird. I thought you had like more.
Honestly, coming into this podcast, I knew Arcade Kings was the one. I don't think there was another one that I liked.
What about what did you say? Was it Infamous Iron Man or Invincible?
Invincible? Yeah, I brought that up. I thought,
but
that
you
was
didn't
good
talk
too.
about it. Like it's already like 12 issues in, and you got nothing to talk about.
I don't know if like enough to want to speak about it. You know, is nothing super like memorable that's like.
Oh, fuck off! Every time we go get it, you're like, oh, I gotta get it.
Well, yeah, it's good. It's good. I know I'm enjoying it. But if we're recapping what are the best things that we've read this year, I don't think that comes close.
That's so fucking weird because you have a shit ton of fucking comics in our pull list, and you only had 2
that come to mind. Yeah, right now. Yeah. I brought up Arcade Kings. I brought up Night of the Ghoul. I brought up Masquerade.
Well, you only talked to like it was just like shoot in. You didn't like talk about it.
I talked about Arcade Kings.
That's it.
Because that was my comic of the year.
Okay.
Dude, we're running almost like an hour and something minutes.
So when we have
we
guests,
usually finish this around an hour.
when we have guests, you know, like 2 hours and shit.
You want to do 2 hours of this fucking thing?
Yeah, let's go. So
Oh my
my
god.
next one is
You have another one?
no
Oh,
fuckhead.
okay. Yeah, I feel like that's it for 2023. It's been a wrap. You know?
In a weird way, sure.
What do you mean?
We were all over the place.
What, for this episode?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes. So, if you didn't listen to the first episode or the first part where we talk about our favorite video games, go check that out. But if you've already listened to us this whole year, you probably already know what our game of the year is. And, yeah, let us know what your guys' favorite movies or comics, if you read any comic books, what were your favorite comics of the year. We really do appreciate you guys. This might be the last episode for the year. So we'll tune in next year when we start recording more. But again, guys, thank you so much for listening to Two Brothers. You know, we just shit around. We don't really have much of a perfect format, but thank you guys for sticking around. Follow us on all our socials and listen to us where you listen to podcasts. It's been a wild year. Hope you guys enjoy the holidays and stay safe. It's been Two Brothers.
Two brothers.